I love a bit of architectural photography, and my eye was really drawn to these lovely swooshing metal fins on the outside of this building. I really love how as the clouds go by they're kind of dancing in the light. I think there's a really nice graphical composition to be shot here, but wouldn't it be nice if it moved? Time-lapse photography is all about taking something that's happening over a period of time and compressing it, squeezing it, speeding it up to give it a bit more impact and action. What I really like is that as these clouds are kind of scudding past, the light is dancing off these fins. I think it's a really good opportunity to make something that moves. Now, do you need a tripod for time-lapse photography? Well, be ideal, wouldn't it? But since we don't have one of those, I do have this very handy bollard on which I can rest my phone. Now, one thing I know about this phone is that the time-lapse mode is not in the video section of the app, it's in more. So more time-lapse, and that's what we're after. Now, the key with this frame is going to be finding a composition that really works. So what I'm actually going to do now that I'm resting on this lovely solid bit of street furniture is punch into the 2x zoom lens and just frame out all of this extra stuff at the bottom. So we've got something nice and abstract there. The clouds are still moving really nicely, so I'm going to hit go on my time-lapse there. And in fact, even in real time, you can see that they look really interesting. I think this would be a really nice, just kind of real-time, live piece of video. Now, this is where patience is a virtue. Well, in fact, do you know what? A tripod would be a real virtue here, but if you don't have one, you don't have one. The trick is going to be holding still. Now, what I quite like about this app is that we have not only how long my time-lapse has actually been running, but also how long the finished file is going to be. So it's ticking up obviously on the right hand side way more slowly than it is on the left. But if we shoot for maybe something in the order of 10 or 15 seconds final length, something like that, that's gonna be pretty cool to look at. We don't want to create time-lapses that drag on so long that people lose interest in them. Currently 13 seconds, I think 10 to 15 seconds would seem to be about the sweet spot for me if I want to share this on social media. I don't want to bore people, but I do want to allow plenty of time for the movement to happen. So as we come around to 1 minute there, 16 seconds, 17 seconds on the time lapse, I'll hit stop and we can review, see what we've got. What I really like about shooting handheld time lapses is you can be quite reactive. So this frame, although it doesn't have those wispy clouds scooting around all over the place, it does have this cheeky little jet plane zooming across the background there, and you also get a real sense, if you look at the fins on the building, of the light kind of playing across them. So not quite what I was setting out to capture, but an interesting little clip nonetheless. This time-lapse has absolutely loads going on, some quite dark, sort of menacing clouds, and also has this very annoying tree just appearing, you can just see it there at the very bottom left of the frame, a result, I'm afraid, of not using a proper camera support, hand holding a time lapse, and everything kind of drifting as I wasn't quite paying attention to it in the middle of the frame. I find that super distracting, and I also don't like how poorly lit the building on the right side of the frame is, so I think there is probably something better further down the line. This time-lapse clip has everything in it that I wanted. I really like how the light is changing, playing on the fins on the side of the building, and I also really like these wispy kind of, is playful the right word? Clouds as they come across there. I think they look really cool, and I really like the effect of kind of compressing time. So this, I think, exactly what I was setting out for when I started shooting.